So if you've been following this channel, you'll know that I recently finished my Hive Tyrant. But I was thinking, could I use the spare parts from this kit to build a second Hive Tyrant? Or specifically, a Swarmlord. After all, the Hive Tyrant kit already comes with a spare head, spare tail, spare legs, and spare arms. So all I really need to build is an extra body and an extra pair of hips. That seems super doable, so let's do it.
Do it!
To make the body, I first grabbed an extra headpiece from the Trigon kit, as well as 2 extra chest pieces. I plastic glued them together side by side. This is going to be the start of our back carapace. After that, I grabbed an extra crotch plate, also from the Trigon kit. I plastic glued this to the bottom of our carapace, just to give it a bit of a downward curve. Now, one of the chest plates from the Trigon kit had an adrenal gland and one didn't, so I just grabbed an extra adrenal gland to even things out. Haha, symmetry. After that, I grabbed a pair of extra infestation nodes from the Gene Stealer kit. I plastic glued them together. Then I used my snippers to cut off all the little tentacle bits. After that, I glued it to the inside of the back carapace. What is the point of this, you may ask? Well, it means that later on I get to use less milliput to shape the body. Speaking of milliput, I grabbed a bunch of it and used it to fill in all the gaps and completely cover the infestation node. Then, I used my hands to create the rough shape of the body. I also grabbed a little bit more and used it to extend the sides of the carapace outwards. I then pressed all the arms into the body so that they would each leave a little socket for me to reattach the arm later when the milliput was dry. I did the same thing for the head. After that, I grabbed a round clay shaping tool and used it to mold some ribs. I also molded some bony protrusions at the base of the torso and at the collar. By this point, the milliput was already starting to harden, so I put it to one side to dry. It's time to fill the gaping void in this alien's crotch. First, I stuck in a big wad of milliput. I created the basic shape of voluptuous hips using my hands. Then I used the clay tool to create horizontal depressions that lined up with the bony protrusions on the tail. I then grabbed the body and pressed it into the top of the hips so that they would line up nicely when they were both dry. I removed any excess bits with my hands, and then used the clay tool to smooth things out. Looking decent so far. At this point, I realized I needed to add some of those Tyrannid chimney vents to the back of the carapace. To make each one, I stuck on a little rectangle of milliput to the back of the carapace. Then I used the clay tool to poke out a little vent. I made 3 in total. Once everything was dry, I grabbed a penknife and used it to change some of the things that I wasn't too pleased with, like making the neck cavity a bit deeper and making the carapace lines a bit more defined. After that, he was pretty much ready. Here he is, stuck together with blue tack. So I primed him up, and then painted him in my Hive Fleet colors. Finally, I had to give him a name. So what do you call the leader of untold swarms of smaller creatures, someone who yeets his minions at his foes to fight for him? So here he is, fully painted up. He may not be the best looking Swarmlord around, but I'm pretty sure my friends will be okay with it if I used him in games. And just like that, we've managed to make an extra Swarmlord from the Hive Tyrant kit for basically free. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it useful in any way, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.